I'd like to tell you we're at the 2012 band roast here, and they're getting ready to have dinner here in a little bit. All of them are seated around the tables, looking good. And after dinner, they'll be roasting the people that are up on the stage. All the different seniors and the things that they've done over the years while they've been going to school. We're sponsored by East Hardware, Tennessee Ridge, Signature Healthcare of Aaron. They can be reached at 289-4141 for any information you may need. Tradition's First Bank, Houston County's only hometown bank in the Houston County Drug Alliance. My name is Mike Davis. We're WCBN Channel 12 coming at you.
I may be the only one actually that remembers the very first band banquet in 2004. And I tell this story every year because I think it bears repeating. You know, we have this nice potluck with all these side dishes and barbecue and desserts and everything else. It's kind of humbling to think that 9 years ago, in 2004, this band banquet was a box of fried chicken and a few of us sitting out in the commons eating. That's what it was. As I say every year, wow, how far we have come. And I think that's important that we take that moment always to look back, to think that it hasn't always been this way, and this is the product of a lot of hard work from a lot of people. And first, I have to always, I do this every year, I always have to first welcome and thank Miss Stacy Smith, who is my co-conspirator in putting this banquet together. She's in charge of all the media, the slideshows, the certificates, the senior roast video. So thank you very much to Ms. Stacy Smith. You'll be seeing this on there. In addition, she also serves as the woodwind instructor and this past year picked up the title front ensemble instructor. In addition, we have a couple of our other staff members here. Our high brass instructor, no stranger to Houston County High School, Mr. Andy Hchs. One of our percussion instructors, where did Wesley go? Okay, he's over there. One of our percussion instructors, Mr. Wesley Wimberly, and both of our guard instructors, Dina and Diana Wilkins. And even though he's not here in that official capacity, because he's here as a band parent, but I'm going to treat it as if he's in his official capacity. One of our school board members, Mr. Kendall Coleman, is while on the subject, we are very fortunate, and I try to make sure I say this every time I get a chance to. We are in the process of a very arduous and potentially contentious budget year coming up. And we are very lucky that we have a school board that realizes the importance of programs such as the Houston County Band Program. And they have done an excellent job of making sure that we receive some funding and probably more funding than most organizations in this county. And speaking from experience, more than some of our surrounding counties. So be sure as the budget year begins and the budget battles begin, if you like what you've seen over the last 2 weeks in the middle school and high school, and I sincerely hope you like what you've seen and what you've heard, if you've enjoyed that, pick up the phone, call your board member, call Ms. Harvey, and tell them that you want to see full funding for the Houston County Band Program. Plug on that. So welcome to the 2012 Houston County Band Banquet. Let's get this party started, shall we? Throughout the slideshow and saw through the pictures, we do a lot throughout the course of the year. Our year begins every year the same way, with 2 weeks of band camp, a week of pre-camp and a week of band camp, and this year was no different. And this was quite possibly one of the, with maybe the exception of 2008 when we did the Beatles show, this was quite possibly one of the slowest, most stressful beginnings to a marching season that we have ever had. And I honestly don't think that any of us were expecting what transpired as a result during that season. It took us forever to get the show on. It took us forever to get the show clean. But once we finally figured it out, we began posting some of our highest scores that we've ever recorded in the mid to upper 80s. And that may not seem like a big deal, but 7 years ago we were scoring in the mid to upper 50s. So when the year began, I think everybody, myself included, the kids, we thought that we were in for 4 months of just drudgery. And then state championships came, in which I had a feeling going into it that we might be a finalist, but wasn't 100% sure. Because this was the first year since 2005 that the marching band did not take a first place in the contest. And this was the first year since 2006 that the marching band did not place at a contest. And to most people, that would seem like a failure. But then this happened. And for those of you that have lived through that announcement either this year or years past, you know that is the most exciting moment of the marching season. And then there's Alexander. The year got started off to a rocky start, but when state championships were over that day, we tied with our best finish ever at a state championship, finishing 8th in the state from the marching band standpoint. Had the 6th highest music score in prelims. The band, the guard, and the percussion sections all scored superior ratings during finals. And I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, the drumline percussion section also finished in the top 10 in the state that day as well. So it just shows, because the start is slow, it's how you finish. Same can be said with the 7th grade beginning band. I thought when we began playing back in August that I was going to want to rip my ears off the sides of my head, turn in my letter of resignation, and go work at a bank. Because there are no instruments anywhere in or near a bank. Because as my kids in 7th grade can tell you, they got off to a slow start too. Probably the slowest of any group of beginners that I have ever had. And then Christmas came, and Santa Claus brought them all talent, apparently. Because after Christmas, they took off. And if you were here last Thursday, or if you heard them on Wednesday, wow, 7th graders should not sound that. And same thing with the 8th grade. 8th grade, they did not sound like they'd only been playing for 2 years. And I cannot wait to see what's going to happen with the high school band when all those kids are up here. So this has been an absolutely awesome, wonderful year. It's been very challenging, but I think it's probably been one of the more rewarding years that we've had. I have never had the opportunity, maybe with the exception of the spring of 2010, to stand in front of a concert band as good as the one that I got to stand in front of Tuesday night. It was, if you were here Tuesday, I hope you enjoyed that hour and a half as much as I did. I didn't want to, I would say forget the banquet, let's do the concert again, but my kids would kill me. So it has been an absolutely outstanding year, and we're already, preparations are already underway for this upcoming year. But we're not going to worry about the upcoming year yet. We're going to do some gag awards. This is a tradition that also began in 2004, and it's one that we have continued and will continue until either I am sued or told to stop. But at that point, I'll probably still do it anyway. The first gag award that we give every year, this tradition began in 2007 because pretty much everybody decided to make a trip to the hospital over the course of that particular school year. I have no idea why. Apparently the hospital was a very popular place. But I'm glad to say that over the last couple of years, the number of people that have been going to the hospital has been in a steady decline. And by my estimations, this year there were only 2. So here's hoping for next year. Don't do anything to get yourself injured, please. But we have 2 hospital awards this year, and I hope I didn't miss anybody. And if I did, bring your medical records and prove to me that you were there, and in this case, we'll make you another certificate. We have 2 hospital awards for 2 different hospitals, so that's pretty great. The first one is the Gateway Medical Center Award. Apparently, this individual cannot lay in the grass without breaking out in a rash, because he came to me during the break during band camp and said, "Mr. Witt, I laid down, and now I'm wealthy." And I said, "Well, it's a good thing your mother works a block and a half from here." And she came and got him, so the Gateway Medical Center Award goes to Mr. Ethan Scoggin. And I'm going to have you stand on the stage here for just a second. He's a good listener. And our other Medical Center Award, of course, I probably could have put 5 or 6 hospitals on this one, a potential life flight helicopter, and whatever else happened to her during the course of the year. But the only hospital that I know for a fact she went to was the one here in Erin. The Patient's Choice Medical Center Award goes to Miss Katrina Dew. And she knew it before I said it. She was already walking up here. That's so sad.
All right. Who's our photographer this evening? Where's Miss Terry? All right, Miss Terry. Everybody look at Terry tonight because she's going to be taking the pictures. There we go.
I don't believe our next award recipient is here, but we'll make fun of you whether you're here or not. So, apparently some kids don't get the memo, despite me putting it in print, telling you every day, having a staff that tells you every day, having parents that tell you every day, having weathermen on television tell you every day, it's hot, drink water. Apparently there was one student that just didn't get the memo. I don't know what she was doing, but listed wasn't it. Because 3 or 4 pass outs later at band camp and Andy's broken back from carrying her across Austin Peay's campus, I think she finally got the point that you need to drink water and not sodas at lunch and dinner. So the Houston County Band gives Raven Cole the What's Water Award. Now, there's not a slide for this one. There is a slide for this one. We got it? Okay. And then some people yell all the time because they think that somebody in the next zip code needs to hear them. Everything they say has to have a very loud inflection. And no, I'm not talking about me. But our next award recipient is one of the loudest people I've ever met, and Kathleen Wallace was a student of mine for 7 years. And his sister is currently a student of mine. The Houston County Band presents Alexander Coleman with the Human Megaphone Award. Now, I know for a fact that our next award recipient is not here this evening, but we'll do it anyway. Some people are just dreadfully inappropriate. You already know what I'm talking about, don't you? But in their inappropriateness, they're just extremely funny. And everything that they say is funny. Unfortunately, everything that they say can't be repeated. Shouldn't be repeated. Will not be repeated. But he is not here this evening at a prior engagement. The Houston County Band presents Bradley Nelson with the award. We as humans like things that smell. One of our 5 senses. One of our favorites. Because you can't taste without smell. Probably one I like then. There are good smells, and then there are bad smells. And apparently there is one person in the room that no matter what he does, always smells good. Because he has a fan club that sniffs him every day. If I were him, I would start charging. The Houston County Band presents Jason Parrish with the Bobby Award. Some things are meant to be balanced. Checkbooks, diet, not mine. Emotions. And then some things are not. Trash cans, shoes, trombones. And apparently there's one individual in the room who thinks that he can balance anything on top of anything. Especially my office door. But then I can't say anything because Brian Manners tries to balance on my office door all the time. He does balance on my office door all the time. I was sitting in my office one day, back during the earlier part of the semester, and I walk out and I look at my office door, and my trash can is up there, a chair is up there, a music stand is up there, and Ian's trombone is up there. To which my response is, how how did that get there? And our next award recipient just stood there and just grinned. The Houston County Band presents Eric Pulley with the Giga Ain't Got Nothing on You award. You know, usually I give these awards for things that happened a while back. This one happened on Monday. So we're out in the parking lot, doing some marching. People start talking at attention. And you know what happens when you talk at attention? People started doing push-ups. And apparently the person standing next to me didn't realize that I was walking in his pathway. Decided that he was still going to do push-ups anyway, and I ended up in push-up position as well. But not because I was exercising, because I still say he blatantly, deliberately tripped me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I've never seen such a sheer look of terror come across in my face as it did when I hit the pavement. The Houston County Band presents Tyler Hanna with the Mother of God Run Like Hell award. One of the great pleasures that I have as a teacher is I see these kids when they're in 6th grade and get to watch them grow up over 7 years. And let's just face it, for those kids, they're not good years. I mean, let's all of us look at our teenage pictures, right? Mine are terrible. But there's been one individual that I thought, you know, maybe one day he's you know. And finally this year, this individual decided, hey, I'm going to have a growth spurt. And when this individual had the growth spurt, came in one day and he was, you know, still sort of short and dumpy. And then he came in the next day and he's like a foot taller than me. No, not Alexander. And is about as big as my thumb. And I thought, my God, what happened? And if you would have seen this kid a couple years ago, you would think, oh my God, what happened? The Houston County Band presents Stephen Joel with the Puberty Hit Me Like a Ton of Bricks award.
But apparently it didn't give him speed. Yeah, I love the picture too.
We have been very fortunate to have some very brilliant people in the ensemble. And then we've been very fortunate to have those that are just, how shall we
Is there a way
say,
to turn on that center spot?
no common sense whatsoever.
Yeah, those.
And then some that just
That's right.
are there.
There.
Yeah. When they go.
And this award could go a bunch of different directions, couldn't it?
It gives me a little.
No, Tessa, we're not talking about you. We were going to call this one the Katie Goffier Award, but figured that would be kind of tacky. So we're just, if you know this person, I know she's not going to take this, you know, I hope she's not going to take this with any offense. But with that being said, if you know this person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Her favorite color is clear. Her favorite smell is air. And her hobby is chasing parked cars. Occasionally she catches one. The Houston County Band presents Megan Lewis with the Award. You know, when you play in a section with somebody for a long period of time, you begin to develop a relationship with them. Sometimes you feel like you're in a relationship with them. And this couldn't be any truer of my tuba section. I've still yet to figure out which one's the man and which one's the woman. Because it's nag, 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 and complain, complain, complain. All the time. But, unfortunately, there is one who tends to, how shall we say, mistreat the other one a little bit more than he should probably deserve. So the Houston County Band is pleased to present Jacob Erickson with the Battered Wife Award.
Get in the light.
Oh, okay. Well, Mitchell, take care of your. Take care of your.
Oh, yes.
But on the flip side of that coin, there's another tuba player in that section. And you know, everybody has a certain lot in life, a cross to bear, if you will. And Mitchell, unfortunately, well, I don't want to spoil any surprises for the senior roast later, so I'm just going to tell you, he gets the Everyone's Favorite Victim Award.
I'm kidding.
Injuries are not a funny thing until the band banquet. And then they're hilarious. And you know, it always seems like injuries tend to stay in the same section, the low brass. Either they're the ones who get injuries, or more commonly are the ones that cause injuries. And our next award recipient is definitely not an exception. Picture, if you will, we are all trying to fit out the back door of the band room. It is a one-person door. And all the traffic is going one direction. And this individual decides they want to go the other direction. And by God, nothing was going to stop her. In the process, she takes down a guard member and nearly breaks her ankle the week of state championships, leaving her just a heap on the sideline. And based on what I've heard from her family, this is not the only time that she's ever done this. The Houston County Band presents Victoria Coleman with the Bull in the China Shop Award.
Yeah. That's cool.
I didn't mean to! Oh, Victoria, don't cry.
And speaking of injuries caused by the low brass section, if you remember last year, we gave Ian Smith the Hazards to Your Health Award because he dropped Eric, causing him to miss finals at state championships, and then proceeded to dislocate his elbow the week of mid-state tryouts. Well, apparently he passed the trait on to one of his section members. The trombone section, going back to the practice rooms for sectionals earlier in the semester, getting ready for the small ensembles concert, and Gavin is holding the door open, and a music stand goes by, whack, right in the eye. And Gavin's eye is black right underneath it. Okay? The day before Gateway tryouts, this individual decides that he's going to land right on Logan Callis's foot, twisting it underneath him, causing Logan to have to be in a wheelchair the next day during the Gateway auditions. And I think Logan enjoyed that probably more than he should. So, in keeping with the tradition, the Houston County Band is proud to present Dustin Yazzie with the Ian Smith Award. For some reason, well, first, as teachers and as adults and as mentors, we have people who look up to us, want to be like us, want to follow us in our footsteps. And then there are some people who are, how shall we say, obsessive. Think back to a drawing, if you will, that Sam Jennings did of our next award recipient. It hung in the band room. It was our next award recipient dressed as Gollum from Lord of the Rings. On the mountain or wherever he goes to take the ring. Mordor, whatever, I've never seen it. I don't care. But instead of holding the ring, this individual is holding my picture. Yep. The Houston County Band presents Nick Moore with the My Precious Award. And speaking of stalkers, Stacy, cue the music. Our next individual follows me around like a little puppy all the time. All the time. It doesn't matter where I'm going. He follows me there. I hope he doesn't try to follow me into the bathroom because I have permission from his mother to pop him in the head. And we'll do it if need be. The Houston County Band presents Scott Smith with the Can I Get a Restraining Order Please Award. Picture it, if you will, the night before state championships. It's the Halloween game. We're all in costume. The front ensemble has decided they're going to be the Wizard of Oz. And we have our own Dorothy and Toto. And Dorothy is pushing Toto. And pushes Toto. And pushes Toto, and then dumps Toto. Right onto the sideline, in front of the entire home stands. And Toto's laying there, like a poor, abused little animal. Poor Toto. You should be ashamed. Just ashamed, Dorothy. You're such a terrible dog owner. I wish the wicked witch would have gotten you and left your little dog alone. The Houston County Band presents Mary Mac Pitts with the Human Catapult Award. And of course, we obviously know who's getting the next one, right? Toto. I think I've already told the story. The Houston County Band presents Lindsay York with the Mary Max Punching Bag Award.
I got you. She's got to go through me. She's got to go through me.
Cool.
This next award has a sound clip with it.
Huh?
She's not very discreet about it.
Show me.
Imagine, if you will, you're at a concert.
Turn this one up to 3.
True story. New York Philharmonic. In between movements, a guy's cell phone goes off. The conductor turns around and stares at them. Would drive you nuts, right? Imagine, if you will, you're at Gateway Honor Band, and you've been told by the conductor, the chairperson, and your teacher to turn your phone off. A nice quiet moment in a piece called Dusk. In the silence where you expect lovely, you hear this. Coming from a cell phone. And not anybody's cell phone. The first chair horn player, who should know better? The Houston County Band presents Logan Callis with the Big Ben Award.
I don't think he ever told his mom and I that story.
On earth did that go up?
Huh?
On earth did that not go up?
Some people come up with some of the, how shall I say, lamest excuses for their behavior that I've ever heard in my entire life. Just a couple weeks ago, sitting in band rehearsal, and I noticed something that I've never seen before. I'll get to that in a minute. But this individual's excuse for the fact that he's wearing a fully zipped track jacket in the month of May, all the way up around his neck, zipped all the way to the top so you can't see his neck, is we're studying the Cold War in Mr. Hendricks's class, so I'm bundled up. Okay. But why would you bundle? He's a teenage male. You figure it out. The Houston County Band gives Sean Settleby, man, it's cold in here, award.
All right.
Figured out which one.
And there's not a lot that I'm going to say about this one. And if there was ever a gag award that could cause me to lose my job, it's this one. The Houston County Band gives Bailey McRoberts the Leach Award. It's been nice knowing all of you. Miss Stacy Smith will be your hand director starting next year.
I quit.
Actually, they probably wouldn't take her either because she made the award. You're right. You're right, it is. You go ahead and keep talking, Jordan. Oh God, I've lost control of this banquet. Okay. We're at band camp. It's the last night there. And everybody is quiet. Sort of. And we're getting everybody locked in their rooms. And I'm walking down the hallway. And all of a sudden, I see Jordan Reedy come running out of his room with one of those 6-pack rings of soda that you hold, screaming, "I'm a seagull! I'm a seagull!"
Oh no, I know where he got it.
And then proceeds to run down the stairs and across the girls' floor when he's supposed to be in his room. And I left out the part that apparently he was not wearing clothes. I was distracted by the Coke can rings. Then we go to the Halloween game. And I'm sitting in my office getting some work done.
He runs into the
And all of a sudden, I see this red Angry Bird come running across the main room into my office and hits the back wall and is sprawled out on my floor.
Poor Jordan.
I think he just doesn't care. The Houston County Band presents Jordan Reedy with the Avian Friend of the Year award.
This is the first banquet we've ever had a wardrobe change.
And we have one more gag award, but that individual is not here. And it really would make no sense to do it without him, but we're going to anyway. Gee, I wonder who this one's for. You know, we're getting ready to approach graduation, and all of our seniors are going to be going off into the world and making names for themselves. You did a number on that screen, didn't you, Brian? You know, that almost would have worked. Almost. And they're all going off into their own world, and you know, I've gotten to see some of them pass from 8th grade to high school, but apparently there's one individual that just hasn't quite made it yet. Because on every 8th grade concert, he's there. As a freshman, he was there. As a sophomore, he was there. As a junior on the Christmas concert, he was there. And then this year, I finally let him go to high school. The Houston County Band working here would present Ian Smith with a certificate of promotion. And that concludes the 2012 edition of the Gag Awards. That our seniors have been dreading. The Senior Rose.
Oh gosh. I'll be right back, Mr. Dan. Oh, Gersh.
We have to change slideshows, it'll be just a second. Ooh, that's pretty. Very good, Eric. Now tell me, what are those? They're called stairs. And let's just have some looks at our seniors before we begin roasting them. Looks like you're walking, Mitchell. I'm not an expert, but I could be wrong. Wow, what a face. Only a mother could love that face. Oh, I remember that. Yep. It's called a haircut, Larry. Yep. Same teeth. Okay, so there's just some of our seniors. Our first senior, was it Sam? Okay, Sam's not here, so we're just going to look at his pictures. So just scroll through there, Miss Stacy. And I noticed something with Sam's pictures. None of them look like Sam. I think that's a cat. And that would be Sam and his brother Jack. And Jack looks the same except without the plaid. Or the beard. And that's when it finally starts to look like Sam. That's not Sam Jennings, that's Orlando Bloom. Why is that picture in there? Okay, so if Sam were here, those would have been his pictures. So, Sam Jennings. Sean Farrell was our first senior. Now I have some stories that go with some of these pictures. So Miss Stacy, just if you hear me start talking, just wait before you scroll, please. We didn't rehearse this beforehand, so oh gosh. That's probably the most recent picture of Sean. It was taken Tuesday night, so all right. Yep. Just some family photos. Not family photos. Okay, now, I believe the guitar on the left was autographed by Marty Stewart. Is that correct? When I was younger, when Marty Stewart was still a big country music star, I wanted his hair, but that was before I realized that mullets were a bad idea. The picture on the right, that would be Sean's dad, holding Sean, and here's the story. When Sean was a baby, he loved to be held and walked around, but he did not like loud noises. One of the noises Sean really hated was the vacuum cleaner. And that picture makes absolutely no sense. Until, it's funny though, Sean wouldn't cry as long as his daddy was holding him while he vacuumed. It was quite a sight to see with Kenny pushing the vacuum cleaner with one hand while holding Sean in the other. So, yeah, I've never heard of that before. You're an odd duck, sir. You probably don't remember that, do you? And here's the funny thing about Sean, and I didn't realize this. His mother was actually one of my teachers when I was in school. I was in the drama club with her at Denver Central when I was a sophomore, and I think Sean was maybe would have been two maybe at that point. If that. And then, you know, shows how small the world really is. Okay? And I'm not sure why you'd be sticking your tongue out while playing the piano unless you're trying to do a Little Richard impression. That's kind of interesting. Aww. Luckily your hair didn't catch on fire. Okay, that's Dr. Seuss. That probably explains his love of reading. See, I had that same hairstyle when I was a kid.
All right. Uh-oh.
What happens to the, oh, there we are. Frozen. Okay.
What do chickens...
Tractor trailer trucks and military memorabilia have in common? Well, Sean has always been an avid collector of one thing or another. For an entire year, his room became overrun with chickens of all types, sizes, and colors. And you know, there's a joke there that I could give, but Stacy's done a really good job tonight, so I'm not going to make fun of her. Then one year, his hobby was model tractor trailers. Then he became obsessed with the military. He had to have military books, military medals, and dog tags, uniforms, etc. You name it. If it was related to the military, Sean had to have it. And I can vouch for that fact because when he was in the 7th or 8th grade, he told me, he said, I'm going to West Point. What 7th grader even knows what West Point is, let alone saying, I'm going to go there? You know, if it wasn't for the eyes, I'd almost think that was Mitchell. Nick, you might want to cover your eyes. That's a close thing to a clown. For Sean is dad. And Sean still loves bow ties, by the way. I don't know that I've ever seen Sean, except for tonight, in a necktie. He's always in a bow tie. He's the only person I know other than me that probably wears a bow tie on a regular basis. And apparently he's a staff sergeant now. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry, sir. All right. And there's Pete. Where in the world do you find swim trunks that long? Those are like swim jogging pants. Like, look like they were made out of a shower curtain. What's that all about? Oh, you didn't hear that? She said they keep leeches off. And that's a little bit saying, I think, rather than be around the neck. Okay. Let me say this, because we have to give them grief, and then I always have to say something nice about them. And I can say this about Sean. Sean doesn't say much. And sometimes you don't even know if he's there. But as far as just sheer talent and ability, Sean has never really, I don't think, had a chance to prove his medal until this year. He has steadily climbed up the clarinet section over the last 7 years, and this year sat principal clarinet in the wind ensemble. And I got a lot of positive comments from his playing for my own parents. And my mom, she's been around this band thing long enough. And one of the first things she said to me after the concert was over on Tuesday was, man, your little clarinet player, he is awesome. And he has been just a valuable addition to that section over the last 6 years. And for those of you who don't know anything about Sean, he's probably one of the smartest kids I've ever met in my entire life. He's going off to UT this fall. We decided he's still doing medicine or pre-med. There's his hobbies changing, and he's going to UT pre-med. Or you're one of the valedictorians for the class, I believe. 4.0 average. Just a great kid, great talent, and I guarantee you will want him to take care of you or your children one day, because he will be the kind of person that will make sure that they get the absolute best, because he pays an extreme attention to detail in everything he does. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sean Settle. Next. Oh, Taylor. Let's go, Taylor. Being sassy coming up on stage. Let's see some pictures, shall we? There's a good family shot right there for senior night. Aww. Her chin looks like mine. Non-existent. Wow. We probably should have put a sensor bar over that too. Is that picture crooked or is she just laying sideways? What's that all about? Oh, there's the sass coming out. Hey, Mitchell's in that picture too. Wow, I didn't know y'all known each other that long. Sassy. Angry. What kind of face is that, Taylor? My God. Look like you just messed your pants. Happy Taylor in the lower right with Santa Claus Taylor on the left side. Aww. She's just glad she landed on her feet. And there's Taylor, the movie star. And as we get older, you know, I thought the ponytail and whatever that thing is called, scrunchie, that was for mine and Stacy's era. What in the world were you doing with it 20 years after it went out of fashion? What's that all about? Clarinet, obviously. So those are some Taylor pictures. I have a story from her grandmother. Taylor was an exceptionally good child. I think the operative word in that statement is was. However, when she was between 1.5 and 2.5, she had a very bad habit. When you dressed her to go somewhere, she would then strip completely naked, which I guess explains the kitchen floor photo. When she was 5, before she left for school, she would line all her toys up in front of the TV in a straight line. And if she came home from school and one had been moved just a little bit, she would know. Then why in the world did you not find your marking spots? That I'm kidding. Very rarely did I have to reset Taylor. I don't think Taylor's going to mind me saying this, and if she does, well, whoops. A lot that you may not know about Taylor is she was born, I think, with a slight hearing loss and with a mild disability. We're not going to get into that. But she has persevered through all of it, both academically, musically, personally, and she never let it get in her way. And anytime something was needed from us, it might have taken her a little longer, but eventually it would get done. And the clarinet section is taking a huge hit this year because we're losing Sean, as we said, Taylor, and Mariah. And these three have sort of been the rock upon which the clarinet section has been built for the last half of a decade. Kind of scared to think it's been that long. But Taylor has done an exceptionally good job at getting done what Taylor needs to get done. And she has one of the kindest hearts and one of the sweetest personalities of anybody you're ever going to meet. And if you haven't gotten a chance to know Taylor, it is your loss. It is your loss. Because she's just a great kid, and I don't think she would harm a living soul on this planet. And we need more people like her. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Taylor. Feel this one? Okay. It's not a stress like that dress. Okay. Another family photo. Aww. We're looking at a consistent look here, aren't we? Oh, she's like, ooh, I'm surprised Stacy put that picture in here. Hey, where'd you get my baby picture from? Keep talking. Just keep talking. Hey, Pepsi is not good for little kids. No. That doesn't even look like Amber. She kind of looks like Daryl in that picture. I guess Taylor and Amber went to the same photographer when they were kids. Aww. I didn't know your hair was that white when you were little. That's crazy. Well, it's that way now, but it's, you know, it's a model job. Oh, I remember those mellow yellow cans. Like, all right, here we go. Losing the team. Oh, there's Athena. You know, and one thing I can say, Amber, at least your baby pictures, you look like an American, unlike Athena's when she looks Oriental. Do what? I can believe it. Okay, and that's Mariah on the right. Mariah has not changed at all. When you see Mariah's pictures, it's ridiculous. From the beginning. And there's, be nice to your mother. Tonight is hard for her. She's already crying after you start talking yet. Gotta want to know it next week. Wow. If those pants would have been any higher, those were shorts. Where did they stop? At your belly button? I'm pretty sure that's above the knee. What's with the teeth? It's St. Patrick's Day, not Easter. I am the Easter Bunny. Oh, you look thrilled. Oh, you look thrilled there too. Oh, look at the lips. Go back to the last picture. Compare it to this picture. Go back. Do it again. All right, now it seems weird to be roasting Amber and thinking that she's graduating, because Amber has been around me from the time she was itty bitty. She is one of those kids that has grown up around me and this band program, because her sister graduated 3 years ago, and now it seems strange to think that Amber is making that journey too. Because, like, you know, I have known Amber pretty much the entire time I've been here. I think she would have probably been in the 4th grade, I think, when I moved here and started teaching here. So this just seems really strange. And Stacey and I talked about that. I know I've talked with Carol and Norma. And if you've not gotten to know the entire RIDE plan, they care about this band program as much as anybody I've ever seen, and they are model band parents. And Amber and Athena both have been model band students. Because Amber is another one that she just sort of did whatever was needed to be done. When I said, "Hey, you want to try bass clarinet?" she said, "All right." We got to marching band. I said, "You want to play percussion on the sideline?" And she said, "Sure." And then she knocked my bass drum off the stand on more than one occasion, and I'm probably going to have to buy a new one now because of her. She's quiet, but she packs a punch. And she, how many times do you knock that bass drum off? Okay, how many times do you remember knocking it off?
Most comfortable thing there.
You're not going to change that answer no matter how many times I ask you, are you? No. But she has done whatever needs to be done, and anytime you heard a loud explosion coming from the marching band from the sideline, I can almost guarantee you it was Amber with one mallet for the bass drum.
Probably. I've been doing it a long time.
And then you heard the explosion after that, and everything fell over. And I'm sure that Amber and her parents and
Are you going back downstairs?
Very familiar faces around here because they're not allowed to go anywhere.
You want a bigger glass?
And
You
yeah,
want a
this is
bigger
just kind
glass?
of
I can get this
strange
kid to get you a bigger
because
glass.
we've been around for so long. And,
I was thinking about taking
we're
rights back,
gonna
but if you
do
want
that
to bring something
together.
else to run, I'll take it.
Well, I want a whole ride plan, because, you know, they had us at their house multiple
So
times.
tell you we find.
And we've left a mess, and so it's a kind of a strange night, but she's done a great job for us for the last 7 years, and she will be missed, and so will her parents and her sister. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Amber Ryan. That picture was actually taken about 6 years ago. That's not a recent one. Where's Mariah? There she is. You know, we should have gotten Maria from West Side Story to play while she was walking on the stage, because that would have just driven her crazy. How many times in your life have you been called Maria? More than once, yeah. Drives her nuts. All right. Now let's watch how she does not change throughout the years. That would not be Mariah on the left, by the way. She's on the right, on a leash. How nice. Those blue eyes, you can tell, just those blue eyes. Can't really see that picture. I think there's too much glare from the stage lights. Is that a bathtub picture? Oh, good. We probably should skip over that. And when crimping was the style. Oh, there's some more crimping. But look, same face. Just that, no, that. Look, the hair's the only thing that's changed. Oh, I guess that's you with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, is that right? Every male in the room is jealous. And there's the plan. Who else in that picture, Mariah? Okay, Ethan, Josh, and Lauren. Family picture. And, oh, the same Mariah, too.
This is about the only glass they had left out there.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Is that you in a cheerleading outfit? Oh, okay. Okay, all right. I'll give you that one. And there's some fan pictures of Mariah through the years. Okay, I didn't get a story from Mariah, but I'm sure most of us have known Mariah and her family forever. Her grandpa is you know, a familiar face everywhere we go, and so I know we'll be able to keep up with Mariah that way. One thing I can say about Mariah is she has been so dependable when it has come to, I need the uniforms done, I need the music taken care of, I need this, I need that. And she has always had that servant attitude. No, that wasn't a shot. Yes, I'm trying to be nice. I'm sure, you know, but you know, she did do her time, because she did date Austin for a while. There will be a reward, maybe not in this lifetime. Hey, we're just getting your road started 2 years early. That's all we're doing. Seriously, Mariah has been just so wonderful about taking care of what's needed to be done, and not only doing it, but doing it well. You know, for the last, 2-3 years, she has been digging through that uniform room, sorting jackets, sorting pants, sorting helmets, sorting plumes. And that's not a job that anybody should want, and she willingly volunteered for it, and some people will be voluntold that they're doing it in the upcoming year. And she, like Taylor and Sean, have been rocks of the clarinet section. And I could throw Amber in there too, because she's a bass clarinet, and her and a couple of others have added a low reed sound that has been missing for years. And Mariah has been just one of those kids that if there's one word that I can say best describes Mariah, is that she is dependable. You can count on her to get anything done, and it's going to get done. And I'm going to miss sincerely having somebody that I know that I can look to and say, I can't get this done, can you please get this done? And it gets done. Not to mention that she's a great talent, and she has been a very good leader for us for the last 2 years on the marching band field and on the concert band stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mariah Davis. I just was a early Maria. Come on, Sean. Yeah, that's not a flattering picture, is it? But then the rest of them.
I saw another one.
Oh, we'll judge you. That's like minutes old, isn't it? Minutes old. No? Wow. Wow. This is a family show. Put your clothes back on. Somebody get me a grocery bag. Wow. Look at those teeth. You could get a career as a buzzsaw. A great meme. I guess Hannah probably didn't realize she was going to be in this one either, did she? Yeah, Sean's a lot like Amber. He works a consistent look too. I mean, all we got to do is just change the clothes because the face is the same. You know, at one point in time, he could match his clothes. Apparently, I guess Mommy was still picking them out for him. Yeah, is that the carnival, I guess?
I don't know.
That's not a whole lot of pictures of Sean, but you notice the right here is remained the same. Oh, the alien picture. All right, this was just given to me tonight. I've not had a chance to proofread it, so I hope it's not vulgar. Okay, all right. Because I had a kid a couple years ago who shocked me with some things. In the womb, we already knew he was a destined musician. While at Opryland, we found out he liked the bass. He kicked so hard that people in the audience saw it. Wow. By the end, Mom was black and blue. By the time he was old enough to walk, he would march across the yard at attention like a little soldier. Yeah, too bad he hadn't done that the last 4 years. What's left? It didn't take him long to figure out what a screwdriver was, and then he would take everything apart. It didn't take me long to figure out what a screwdriver was, because you can't build anything with mine. You'll get it. Heights were no obstacle for him either. He would walk on the roof of the 2-story house at the age of 2 while deciding to hammer the roof. I have some yard work that needs to be done. I have a roof that's about 4 stories off the ground in the back. You're more than welcome. When he was young, he had no butt. I thought you said this was clean. He would always wear overalls. Got that one. God forbid if he didn't, because you would see the moon in the middle of the day. The boy was the buttless wonder. You know, Sean, it doesn't get any better with age, trust me. And like other boys, he put everything in his pocket. One day, we found his pet frog after doing laundry. Needless to say, he couldn't swim and wasn't heat resistant. I think we all all need to take a moment of silence for Sean's dead frog. Speaking of frogs, one day I heard a blood-curdling scream thinking something was wrong. I found Sean and Hannah holding a frog, screaming, "Kiss it, Mom, it's a prince." That is too easy. I'm not going. As he grew, he found rocks, sticks, golf clubs, and sword became his best friends. So were his cats. But on this day, Sean was out practicing with his sword, but unfortunately, his favorite cat had a little too much curiosity, and that cat's body went one way and the tail went the other. Okay, now I have to worry not only about losing my job because of Bailey's award, now I'm going to have PETA call on me. One afternoon, Hannah was babysitting Sean, and as we all know how they get along, oil and water, well, Hannah had enough and chased him around the house with a butcher knife. What kind of house are y'all living in? Into his room, locking him inside, removing the handle, and spearing him by sticking the knife in the door hole, leaving him crying for his mom. Oh, and then we end with a joke. Even through all that, he has become the perfect gentleman. And we couldn't be prouder. We're not finished. Sean didn't enter with the rest of his class. He came in a year later. He started playing trumpet when he was in the 8th grade. And he sort of got thrown into the mix as a whole and was just sort of forced to do it. And fortunately, when he leaves, we have enough trumpets that will be staying, but his presence will definitely, or his absence rather, will definitely leave a void in the section. He has been a very, very strong section player and has worked very, very hard. He and some of the other trumpets every summer, I know, get into range wars to see who can outplay the other one. Too bad they weren't in tone wars to see who could outplay each other with a good sound. I'm kidding. That's a trumpet. It's supposed to be high, fast, and loud. But Sean has just done an outstanding job because he was behind. He is a year behind everybody else from a playing standpoint. And he didn't let that faze him. He worked hard to catch up with the rest of the group and has been a steady member of the trumpet section here for the last 4 years. And I think he's going to be going to college and playing in college, and he's going to continue playing. So that means that I did my job. If a kid continues playing after they graduate, I did my job. And I'm sure that he's going to be very successful, and we'll see more embarrassing photos of Sean in the future, hopefully wearing clothes. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Fessler. Well, it wouldn't matter how many times we took it, it would still be horrible. Yeah, you should be. I've been waiting for this one. Well, according to the rumor, somewhere down the line, Larry and I are related. So this is kind of personal for me. Let's look at some photos, shall we? Wow. Wow. There aren't words. And I didn't think they could be worse than Sean's. He still has hair, it's just less than before. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, E.T. Now that's great-great-grandmother 5 generations? 5 generations. Spread right there. Aww. Wow. Look at that. Oh, okay. Whoa, look at the, where's your other shoe? Is that what you caught the fish with your sandal? Yeah, no. A cowboy you are not, sir. And I'm not sure what's going on the right side of the screen, but it looks like there should be numbers with lines going across and another picture of your profile next to it. Future mugshot. Okay, we got the whole family on the left and the 3 brothers on the right. We got all the kids on here. Let's see, the one on the right is Zach and Larry and Logan, right? Okay. The ones you know. This is the West Tennessee clan on this side. Well, 2 of the West Tennessee clan. Yes, you were. And your hair has always been a challenge. Because every contest, Jennifer has to bundle his hair up underneath his helmet, and Larry screams like a big sissy because he's so tender-headed. Oh, that hurts, that hurts. Was. Hey, is that the same shirt? No, it's not. It's close. Tell me about it. More marching band pictures. Okay. All right. I have some stories on Larry. As with any boy, never tell them don't, because they will do it or bust a gut. When Larry was about 2, we were living in a trailer park, so we were having our home sprayed for rodents. The company had asked us to clean out all the cabinets and drawers and closets, so I had very little area to hide things for a 2-year-old. Well, in a small area of the living room was where I put all of my cooking utensils, thinking Larry wouldn't get to them. But when I said don't, he did. And he cut his toe with a pizza cutter and took 4 stitches to close it up. Having worked in a pizza restaurant, I can tell you that is not the proper use of that equipment. And just because it's red doesn't mean it's tomato sauce. At the age of 17, we used to do all of our animal food shopping at Rural King. But one busy day, we had gone to get feed and were walking the aisles, and I was loading the cart, and Larry starts hollering, "Stop beating me with the food," and saying I make him eat the animal food, or he has to starve. Yeah, that's sort of like when we were at Waverly's contest last year. We were sitting on the bus, and Mitchell sticks his head out the window. "I need adults!" The Humphreys County Jail is not a nice place. Then he hollers, "My mom is after me with a shock stick. Please help me." I'm trying to get to what I need so I can leave. Then we get to the horse stuff, and he hollers, "My mom is hitting me with the whip." What kind of house are you running? There was probably more, but I was so embarrassed I had to leave. Wow. Glad I never take you in public. Oh, a recent one. At 18 years, right here in the forum of Houston County High School, during a performance of the youth chorus, getting ready to perform Let's Rock and Roll. The room was filling fast, and Larry comes out and gives me a kiss and told me he loved me. I told him good luck. He softly says, "Mom, I'm hungry." I told him we would eat afterwards. As he walks away, oh, so you already know the story, he continues to say, I'm hungry, Mom, I'm hungry. As he makes it up on the stage, he screams out, "I'm hungry, you never feed me. Why do you make me wait to..." Yeah, and anybody that can see you knows that's definitely not the truth. "I'm hungry, you never feed me. Why do you make me wait till late to feed me? I'm hungry." I finally asked Miss Virginia to get control of her cast member, Larry, please. You're a horrible child. You are a bad, bad person. Wrong. Okay, one thing I can say about Larry far above anything else, is he is the biggest brown noser I've ever met in my entire life. Sometimes I can't tell where he begins and other people end. It's ridiculous. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Please, thank you. Oh, Mr. Witt, I love your tie. Oh, Mr. Witt, you look so nice. And, oh, Miss Stacy, that dress is so, you are so pretty. No, you don't. Not from me. You're right, I'm an only child. Only children are supposed to be stingy. Aren't we, Scott? All kidding aside, Larry is one of those kids that has improved musically as much as anybody could ever hope for. He hid under a couple of other people for the first couple of years he was here. And I don't know if it's because he hid under them or because they just wouldn't let him do anything. But we're not going to go with that either. But the last 2 years in their absence, he has been rock solid in the baritone section, and that will be a boy that I'm sure will be noticed if for nothing else because the poop smell will be gone. Excuse me. But Larry has worked really hard. He's given us all a lot of grief. A lot of grief. And if I ever find out that we are actually related, I will give you back. You know what they say about karma. No, you cannot say it. No, this is still funny. But he, I believe, is going to Austin P next year. You better play. You better continue playing because that would be a waste of your hard work over the last couple of years. And I'm sure we'll see great things from him as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Larry Brown-Noser Robertson. Come on, Bree, I think you're next. Sergeant Powwow, Pocahontas is coming to the stage. Why do I have a feeling that her head is just going to swell to the size of a watermelon when this is over? What in the world's going on the right over there? Looks like Halloween. Look, there's Nina down here on the lower left. Aww. We're not going to get to roast Nina. They're moving this summer, so we're going to get Nina while we can. Oh, excuse me. You heard nothing. Okay, now where are you in that picture? You're at the bottom? Yeah. Is that Elijah on the couch? Okay, who was on the couch? Oh. Note to self, don't fall asleep at your house during Christmas or else you will suffocate in wrapping paper. You know, you either make really great pictures or really horrible pictures. There's no in between with you.
That picture right there, my uncle Jim got his mouth all wet and smothered on the face. And that was him with this. So my mom was like,
Likely story. Yeah. Well, is that all the sisters, I guess? Oh, that's Elijah. My bad. Sorry, Elijah. Yeah, that's a huge picture. I think I can see it. Look, Barbie's the minority. I shouldn't have said that. I'm going to a bad place for that. Oh, God. What is this all about? Okay, there's entirely too much stuff going on. the little guy that I met tonight up here at the upper left? Okay. Well, again, it's either good or really bad. Oh, there's the Sam drawing. Bree is Pocahontas. Interesting. Apparently that's some sort of weird thing they have. Bree and Sam have their own language. Bree and Logan because apparently like the ballroom dance, and then Charlie's Angels over there in the upper right. Is that Jordan down there? Why is Jordan in there? Oh, okay. Well, you're being white out by the spotlight. I can't see from over there. I'm old.
Oh, that's the best. Jesse, you're my best friend.
Yeah, Tessa looks thrilled in that picture too. She's like, "Get off me, please. I can't breathe. You're suffocating me." God, glad that's over. The Bree show. Well, you know, Bree, I don't know if there are any stories that your mother could write, but I could tell in public forum. Because when I said inappropriate earlier, it was a toss-up as to who it would go to, wasn't it?
I thought it was me, but you didn't. So, yeah.
Oh, well, I don't care. Bree, gosh, if there is one person that does not care about what people think about them, it is Bree. Bree is Bree is Bree, and I guarantee you, you could be in the worst mood ever, and she is going to find something. It may be completely off the wall, but she is going to make you laugh, and it's going to make you smile, and it's going to make you forget about whatever your problem is, even if it's just for a brief second. Now, granted, sometimes there's a solution you want to fix because you might be scarred for life, but she is, you know, most of those pictures she was smiling in nearly all of them. She is one of the happiest young people I think I have ever met, and as you get older, take it from me and every adult in this room, don't lose that trait. Because that will keep you sane and will keep everybody around you sane. You have been a ball of fun for the last 2 years. I'm so glad that you tried out for guard and that you have been here. And you will be next. And the one that I'm sure we've all been. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Rose Mitchell. Everybody is curious, that's Jungle Book playing in the background. Amy, you want to come help me on this one? He's going to be feeding me lines the entire time, so that's why he's sitting right there. He thought he'd get up in the gorilla suit again, didn't you? Pretty sure? Well, lucky for you that the lady that has it got rid of it, because it was going to happen. But I think we have the footage of that, don't we? Let's just relive that memory one more time, shall we? Last year at band camp. I sort of did this out of order. I don't think Stacy, ooh, look, it's the, yeah, let's see. Okay. lost about 20 pounds in that food that day. Now, was it you that gave him the gorilla moniker originally? I'm pretty sure it was. Mitchell, you worship the ground that both of us walk on, and don't you forget it. At least we're not destroying my home to make tables and feed cows. Shut up. Okay, now I think we have these pictures done in a way to where we're going to show the baby picture and then a later picture. So let's just baby picture. Look at those big eyes and those big squishy cheeks. Now let's see what happened. Let's lower the lights a little bit if we can for this. Can we pull the lights down, pull the Grandmaster switch down and stuff? There we go. Baby picture. Wow. There are not, wow. You have no neck. But his shoulders are the same size today as they are in that picture. I don't know how he's carried his sousaphone for the last 4 years. He has the smallest shoulders of anybody I've ever seen. And let's see what happens now. That's his sexy pose. Baby picture. I didn't know you were blonde. That's funny. Wow, it's a good thing that we can see that little bit of blue, or else that picture would have not been appropriate. Of course, none of your pictures are appropriate because you're an endangered species. Oh, look, that one, he's pouting because I just made fun of him. He's stuck in his stomach. Okay?
How old are you?
Isn't that the number of fingers that a gorilla has on their hand other than their thumb? And oh look. Okay, let's go through the rest of them. Cover your eyes, Nick. Of course, you know, we've got to mention poor Brian on the right. Bald as a cue ball. And looks completely clueless, has no idea what's going on. And then there's Mitchell, who does have a clue what's going on, and he actually looks like he's enjoying it. What is that on your? Well, go back. What is that on your right hand in this picture? What in the world is Goopy? It's you in the picture. Right, next picture. He has brown slobber. Wow, that's awesome. Next picture. And I can't say anything about this because when I was 3, I looked the same way. That is as uncomfortable as you can get when you're that age. Nobody's happy. We're not going to make fun of that. That's just painful. That doesn't even look like Mitchell. No. Okay, now there are so many things wrong with this picture. Okay. He's got a cowboy hat on. Okay, that's fine. He's going to be a cowboy. But then he's got binoculars. Now, I've never seen a cowboy use binoculars. And then a skirt. And what kind of shoes are those? Oh, okay. All right. Interesting. And yeah, this is when we start actually sort of looking like Mitchell, playing keyboard. There we go. Your mom gave us a bunch of good pictures. Wow. Wow. I guess that early sailor picture had a profound impact on you, didn't it? And the obligatory bathtub photo. Brian, I'm sorry. And look at the size difference. Looks like Mitchell just ate Brian. Hungry. Right. That's Judy is actually in Tokyo, Disneyland Tokyo. That's not actually Mitchell, it's an Asian kid. Oh wait, no, that is Mitchell. bouncing with gusto, aren't you? He has a whole new meaning to om-nom. And this is where it began. I can't say anything. I look the same way without a shirt on, except at least you're sort of tan. That's just a thrill right there. So thrilled. Okay. And I would have never imagined that you were ever a hunter, Mitchell. You just don't strike me as that type. Ever. Now it's Mitchell O'Brien. Is that, which niece is that? What? Is that Leah? Okay. All right. And we get some more recent pictures. Yeah, he's looking at that face. And then Mitchell and Stuba. And Wesley. I guess that's from Tuesday night, right? From Tuesday. Mitchell has always been a wonderful and loving little boy, always flashing his sweet smile and giving hugs to everyone. Even as a small child, he made wild and goofy faces and strange sound effects. This is from his mother, by the way. It would drive me crazy, and I would threaten to put a paper bag over his head and duct tape his mouth to get some peace and quiet. Mitchell's older sister would always pick on him and aggravate him, and in return, he would torture his younger brother until one day when Brian had had enough. And Mitchell came running through the house screaming with blood all over his face. Needless to say, little O'Brien sucker punched Mitchell and busted his nose. When Mitch was 2 years old, he decided on Thanksgiving morning to jump from the top of his bunk bed to see if he could fly. Needless to say, gravity took over and he fell into a metal Tonka truck and cut his eye open so badly that instead of cooking for Thanksgiving, we spent the day at the ER putting his eye back together. Poor little Mitchell was strapped to the table in the ER, and I felt bad for him. But when he started yelling, "Doctor, I gotta pee," then he would scream, "I'm gonna puke." Of course, I knew he would say anything he thought, so they would let him up. When Mitch was 6 years old, we took him on his first trip to Florida and went to SeaWorld. Mitch kept telling us that he didn't want to ride any of the roller coasters, so we talked him into riding Journey to Atlantis. We told him it was just an indoor boat ride, and he was nervous as heck, but he trusted us, which was a big mistake. And when they were loading us into little boats, it was just by chance that Mitchell and his grandmother were in the very front of the boat. As the ride started, he was saying, "Oh, this isn't so bad." Then at the end of the ride, a picture of a large Medusa had appeared and these big doors opened, and we dropped straight down. He was screaming his head off, and the look on his face was priceless. He called us all liars, and he would never believe us again. Needless to say, he didn't trust us for the rest of our trip. This is from your parents. Mitchell, I am proud God chose me to be your mother. You may drive me crazy some days, but I'm grateful to have you as my son. I can't wait to see what great things you achieve in your life. Always remember throughout your life how much we love you, Mom and Dad. I also have another letter. Mitchell, so I may not be able to be there tonight, but trust me, I'm going to make you cry. I remember when you were born, I didn't like you at all. You were this chubby, bald, whiny little thing, and it was annoying. As we got older, I started to like you less. You were such a pain. You were mouthy. I wonder who taught you that. And you always asked the most random questions. I remember you bringing that big old tuba home while I was pregnant and I wanted to kill you. Now I can't believe my big baby brother is graduating from high school. I'm so proud of you and the man you have become. You have been there for me in a way no one else has. You listened to me when I needed you, and you made me laugh when I wanted to cry. You are so special to me, and I hope that you never forget that. I may give you a hard time, but that's my job. It's my job to be there and tell you what not to do in life. I wish I could just protect you forever, but I can't. I know you'll do amazing things in life, and I hope that if I ever have a son, he's half the man you are. My girls love you to the moon and back, and I'm so thankful for that. I know we've given each other hell over the years, that's her words, not mine, but that's what we do. I wish I was there, and I'm so sad I can't be. But know that I'm thinking about you, and I'm more proud of you than you'll ever know. I love you, Tiffany. And there's only one other person in history whose roast has been as difficult or more difficult than Mitchell's. Because this has been the one that I've been dreading all year. If there has been one kid in this class that I have depended on more than any of the others, it has been Mitchell. He has just been the rock upon which the low brass has been built for the last 4 years. If you've ever heard him play, he is just absolutely outstanding musician, and anything that's ever needed to be done, he has done without even asking why. Mitchell is one of those kids that if more kids in this world were like him, we wouldn't need prisons, we wouldn't need jails, we wouldn't need ISS rooms. Because as far as kids come, there's just none better than the one that's on this stage. As I said last night at Senior Awards, he is one of the finest musicians I've ever had the pleasure of teaching, and one of the finest young men that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. I will miss him like crazy when he goes to Tennessee Tech this year. Just because he has been such a tremendous asset to this program as a musician, and has been somebody that I have grown attached to, and just really just care about this kid a lot. But of course, we can't let you go without a few parting gifts. When you go to Tennessee Tech, I'm sure you're going to be hungry in the mornings. If you're allergic to gluten or gluten, this is perfect for you. A box of Enviro Kids Organic Gorilla Munch cereal.
Hold on, wait. What's the button? Hold on. It says, you'll go ape over it.
And then in the mornings, when you have to fix your hair, all of your hair, we have Moco de Gorilla Gel, Snot Gorilla Gel, Squiz. In case you can't see it, the gorilla's nose is running out gel. So
This is for your... Please wait till we're finished. So there's you some hair gel.
and for those days when the chafing just gets to be a little bit more than you can bear, some baby anti-monkey butt diaper rash powder with calamine. And you're going to need something to wash that cereal down with, and I just hope you'll drink it from this gorilla-faced mug. Complete with straw. We give him a hard time, but I absolutely adore this kid, and he's an amazing, amazing young man. Ladies and gentlemen, Mitchell Manners. I knew that this wouldn't end yet. A little bit of welcome to the jungle, in case you're curious.
those of you wondering, yes, the share this from Baby Gap, if y'all want to get it about the same time as Laura and Baby Gap.
In case you don't know, these two have been best friends forever. So
I give up the other night about saying something about him. As y'all know, I probably have more stories, embarrassing stories about this kid than anybody else. I probably started to have the embarrassing stories on him. But just to reiterate what Julie said, he's been a rock in this program. And being on staff, if I ever need anything done, and I can get a bit about it, or if I needed help with anything at all under the sun, Mitchell was the one I could count on more than anybody else. And, you know, being able to be his best friend for the past, 6-7 years now, has been literally some of the greatest moments I've ever had in my life. He, helped me do a lot. And he's been one of those people, as y'all know, no one's seen me in this county really ever, maybe except for Lawrence and a few others. He's one of the few people I've actually tried to stay in contact with running the Clarkston. But I just wanted to wish you well, wish on this 22. Yeah, I know I'm probably going to be working for you one day. He's so much smarter than everybody. And you're literally one of the greatest people I've ever met. I would want to rush you up here, but I don't want to make you cry so much. So.
Okay, I think you can go now. Andy, I think you hurt Lawrence's feelings. And there's a message for all the seniors. Ladies and gentlemen, the senior class of 2012. And before we move on to the 7th grade awards, I think we have the pins. Yes. May I get all the seniors back on stage? There's a gift from the band boosters that we hope you will wear in your graduation gowns on Friday night.
make a line, face them, probably a group shot. Here's your seniors, folks. No. With these people want to go home, we still have more to do.
All right, as far as the 7th grade awards are concerned, I really don't do this with a whole lot of formality, and I know there are a lot of my 7th graders here this evening, and I bragged on them at the beginning of the hour, and I got it at the beginning of the night, and I just can't say enough about them. Them and my 8th grade both, they are going to transform this band program when they get up here, because the middle school is just chock full of kids who can play. If you are in my 7th grade beginning band, please come to the stage. And turn and face the audience questions you will. Yeah. I'm gonna have to detach the microphone so I can see them all. Okay, let's see. Kristen Yazzie, Yvonne Gillespie, Catherine Coleman, Vince Baggett, Jake Troyer, Cody Baker, Eric Worley, and I can't see past him, Logan Ross, Aaron Arnold, Brittany Skelton, Ashley Nichols, Brian Wilson, Lindsey Simons, Isaac Clark, who's that? We got Malik Sylvester, Zach Dockery, and Cooper Morris. There are 31 in the grade
Yes, but your class also had 140 people to start with. Theirs only has 100. A third of the 7th grade is in band. You have one of those last names. I'm not doing this. Ladies and gentlemen, a portion of the 7th grade beginning band.
Don't jump off the front of the stage. That's an injury waiting to happen. Next Thursday night, I will actually be giving the 8th grade awards, but I'm going to go ahead and announce those winners tonight. I give out 2 awards to the 8th grade. Best all around and most improved. And this one was so difficult because my 8th grade is just, they're wonderful. There's so many good players in there. And trying to pick 2 was completely impossible. So I just sort of went with, I basically just went with the Gateway audition and sort of with it. The Best All Around Award recipient from 8th grade will be Mr. Casey Milam. And the Best All Around, she went and auditioned for Gateway and had never taken an audition before and was beyond nervous and managed to score in the top 2 in her section. The Best All Around for the 8th grade award will be going to Miss Chevelle Puckett. All right, on to the high school awards. Best freshman musician. This individual has really come out of their shell this year, both as a musician and as a person. They have stepped up musically, filled in places where they probably didn't think they were going to have to, especially on Wednesday when they were told to sight read some solos on a concert in front of the entire middle school. Her playing is just phenomenal for a freshman. As a freshman, she was, I think, 5th chair at Gateway as a freshman in her section, and that's pretty ridiculous. By the time she's a senior, she'll probably scratch 1st chair at the Gateway auditions, and I cannot wait for that. Ladies and gentlemen, the best freshman musician for 2011-2012, Miss Mary Mac Pitts. The best sophomore musician. My sophomore class is another one of those. So, well, all my class. It's so hard to pick one person in each grade. But sometimes you just got to go with what you know. And this gentleman, he takes lessons. He goes to Clarksville every week to take lessons. Has made the mid-state band three years in a row. This year he was just an alternate, but it still counts. Just an absolutely outstanding. What is he doing? Just an absolutely outstanding musician, and he never, ever leaves for a dull moment anywhere he goes. He's a party on wheels. the best sophomore musician, Mr. Jordan Reedy. And apparently he's also a diva.
Excuse me. We have to get our picture. Hold on.
Our best junior musician. Andy and I are kind of biased towards this individual because he plays the same thing that we do. And I can say this, and I make no arguments about it. By the time he graduates next year, he will be such a better player than I was when I was in high school that it's ridiculous. Made the Mid-State Band again this year. Second time in a row. Second time he's made the Mid-State Band. Second chair in the second band was 4 chairs away from the All-State Band. I can almost guarantee you we will have an All-State horn player out of Houston County High School next year. The best junior musician, Mr. Logan Callis. Parents that have never been here before, I can assure you, this is normal. They're actually on good behavior right now. Most improved, again, with a band program of 55 kids who play on a daily basis, it is entirely too difficult to pick one most improved. So last year we sort of went with 2, and I think until something tells me otherwise. He's another one of those kids that started far behind. He sat in beginning band for the first year and was lost.